Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations with a card project for you this week. We're going to start this week off using the Friends and Flowers stamp set, which is in the New Occasions catalog. I love this stamp set. I think it is super cute. I made the bunny card last week. And again, this uses the Festive Flower Punch that came out in the holiday catalog that coordinated with the Reason for the Season, or I think it was the Reason for the Season set. I'm also going to use one that's in our annual catalog, which is the Garden in Bloom for our sentiment. I'm going to use the Hope You're Feeling Special today. All right, so let's get started. Go through the pieces real quick. I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock. Got a different size card for you today. It is cut at 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then it's scored at 4 1/4 to make a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch square card. This does actually fit in our medium size envelope, so you do not need to pay extra for postage if you use a regular envelope. Our next piece is going to be our layering piece, which is the Blushing Bride, and it's cut at 4 by 4. And then our top piece, and there's two of these because there's one for the inside. This is cut, this Whisper White is cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So again, there's two pieces, one for the inside, one for the outside. All right, so let's get started. Something else you're also going to need is a strip of Whisper White, which I don't seem to have right here. Here it is. So this piece is cut at 8.5 by 1 1/8, but you could easily just do 1 1/4 if you wanted to. You can get, we need 7 petals in this strip. So this will, if you stamp them properly, you'll actually be able to get all 7 on this strip. If you're not that comfortable with it, then by all means you can cut a bigger strip and punch them out. So I'm going to take the solid image, the solid petal in here, and I'm going to stamp this 7 times in Blushing Bride ink. Now I'm going to show you something real quick. We're going to take the rounded edge, which on this is actually the top of the flower, and we're going to stamp that towards the bottom, towards us. So I've got my paper at an angle, and I'm going to stamp that at an angle on my piece of paper. This will help go when I'm going to punch them out. So then we're just going to make sure that you leave space, and then just, again, keeping it at an angle, stamping all the way up. Now this is pretty tight, so again, if you wanted to go just a little bit bigger and do 1 1/4, that would give you a little bit more room around the image. So there's 4 right there, and you can easily get 3 more up there. So I'm not going to stamp all of those. Put this away for right now. And then you're going to bring in your Festive Flower Punch, and we're going to be punching out this one right here. Now starting from the top, because in this punch you've got the pointy end up here and then the rounded end at the bottom here. So starting at the top, so you have all these stamped out, you're going to go ahead and just slide that in, and then it's going to, this one is not actually the best example because I didn't stamp that one very well, but you'll line it up, punch it out. Okay, and then you're going to continue down. I'll do one more, see if I can actually get a better punch on this. That's better. Okay, and so then you'll do that, and you'll have seven of these petals. Now I also have a piece of Pear Pizzazz, which I'm going to, I think this measures, real quick. It's 4 1/4 inches long. It doesn't need to be that long. And again, it's 1 1/4 wide, I think. I just kind of freehand cut that piece, but you just need 2 of these for the leaves. Okay, so you need 2 of those, and that is actually it. Now I have all of my other pieces stamped and punched out. So you need a total of 7 flower petals and then 2 leaves. And then I also took a 1.5-inch circle punch in the Blushing Bride and punched that out and then cut it in half just to kind of give me a base. So we're also going to need some glue dots. I'm actually just using some glue dots that I got in one of my paper pumpkin kits. So I'm going to use those. And actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add adhesive on the front of my Blushing Bride circle. It might actually be a little easier at first. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the point that's obviously the base of the petal, and so we're going to kind of start here. So go at, I guess that's a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to do your one on the opposite side. So you kind of touch them. This is not an exact science. It'll all work out in the end anyway. Okay, so now you've got that piece. And then you're going to go ahead and take, you can lay adhesive on top of here too. So now we'll just lay a little bit more at the bottom. And if you wanted to put it on the back, you could, or you could attach these with glue dots. The snail really actually gives it a little bit more security. So now I'm going to layer on top of that one, still kind of going up in that angle, and then on each side. We're not laying flat just yet. And you can adjust these, you can play with them. They can overlap if you want them to. All right, and then we're going to, I'm actually going to go ahead and use some snail. It's feeling, I made this card earlier with glue dots and it's just not quite as sturdy as using snail. So now I'm going to go flat, if that makes sense. What I'm doing is I'm making that, so the middle of the petal is basically lining up with that line of the punched line, or the half of my circle. Use my words today. So that's basically going through the middle of that last petal. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just remember, whatever you do to one side, you're going to do the other. So we'll line that up, and everything lines up in the middle. So when you get done with this part of the assembly, you will be past center. So you'll be going just a little bit past the center that you created. Now the last one, I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive, or going up a little higher. Okay, and then this one's going to go straight in the middle. So then it'll cover up all that other adhesive that you put on there. And now we've just created our lotus blossom flower. I think this is so pretty. And now for our leaves, and this is the same thing that goes with the poinsettia flower that I made. When I make these, I have the rounded piece at the top for the flower petal. When I use these as leaves, I use the pointy end as the outer part of the petal. So I'm going to add some, actually, I'm going to add the adhesive to the back of this. And there is already some adhesive on here, so I probably didn't need to add any more. All right, so then flip it back over, and then you just want a little piece of that green showing. Just, it kind of helps to separate all that pink and grounds you a little bit. And then again, same thing to the other side. And I've got a little bit of glue from my table on here. All right, so that is our flower done, easy peasy. I'm going to bring in my layering pieces here. My Blushing Bride, I'm going to go ahead and, actually I'll lay my white piece on first, my Whisper White. Just regular snail. We're not popping any of this up. Okay, and that's just going to go centered onto my Blushing Bride piece. And then I will just add this one. I have got adhesive all over my mat here. It's getting on my card. All right, now we're just going to center that on the piece of crumb cake. And this probably would look nice popped up. And I do actually have some dimensionals here, so why don't I just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add, this will also kind of help give a little bit more security to it as well. So I'm just going to put one right there in the center, and then I'll put one on that petal, and then I'll put one over here. Actually, you know what, I'm going to put just another one up here too. So I've got 4 on there. And I'm going to go ahead and peel those off. Make sure my card's going the right direction. All right, and then I'm going to center that, kind of, sort of. Okay, so now we've got that centered on the front. And the last piece on the front of the card is I'm going to add some linen thread. I went ahead and did a double bow on this, or a double stranded bow on that. And I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm actually going to roll this up just a little bit because it's kind of big. My bow is, the knot on my bow is a little. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right here in the center of my flower. And then I'm going to take my bow and I'm going to put that knot right into the middle of the bow, or the glue dot. And that is actually bothering me. Okay, and I'm going to trim up these little ends just a bit. A little haircut. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. All right, and then the last piece is just to do the inside, which again is a piece of Whisper White cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I'm using the Blushing Bride still, and then the sentiment from the Garden in Bloom set. And then we're just going to center up this "Hope that you're feeling special today." Beautiful. Still plenty of room to write. And then I'm going to use my snail. Bring back in my card. Add that on the inside. There is our finished card project. I hope that you liked today's project. Give me a thumbs up and let me know that you did. Subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment, and I will see you later this week with another card video.